Hello everybody and welcome back to the Cypress Hollow Zoo. Our zoo has expanded so much and our flamingos are just fine. Our penguin lighthouse is looking great, as well as our rehabilitation facilities. We have a great build today, so stay tuned, please like and subscribe, and we're going to be working on this area, down this pathway, past the little penguins, past the flamingos, and right in this opening. We're going to be making a greenhouse for Asian water monitors and cassowaries. So if you like that, please like and subscribe and enjoy the build. We're starting off with our foundational pieces. We're going to be making it a nice big rectangle, giving them plenty of space to walk around in. We're going to move it back just a little bit just to give our zoo a little more space and open areas. And then we're going to connect our staff building from the Little Penguin episode to the greenhouse via this bridge. And they'll have a staff entrance kind of up above. So we're going to add a door over here and a pathway and work on our staff entrance, putting in some handrails so they don't fall. These buildings are very kind of industrial looking, so we do try our best to cover them up and improve the sight lines for the guests. Now that that's complete, we're going to sink our 4-meter wall down into the ground, and this will allow us to kind of lower the floor of the habitat and allow as much light from the window panes as possible. So we're just working on a transition wall from this building, and now we'll get started on our greenhouse build. So we're just going to use the standard greenhouse pieces, move them all around the sides, and then duplicate them up to the second floor. Now that we have that complete, it's time to work on our angled roof. So we're going to use the angled pieces from the greenhouse kit. I don't really like how they don't have lines on them. They're just kind of a blank window pane. So it kind of looks a little funny, but we make it work. So that's the main shape that we're going for. We duplicated it over to the other side. And here's how it looks so far. We're going to keep on building by adding a roof. And because it looks so flimsy in this big structure, we're going to add some metal beams for bracing. And we're just going to add this to the top just for a little extra support and make the building feel a little more sturdy in general. I did color these lime green. That's really just so I can pick them out from all the white lines that are going on in our habitat so far. But I will be changing them to white once the build is complete. We're going to work on lowering our floor. The idea here is that you'll be looking down on the water monitors and the cassowaries, kind of coming in and out of the bushes that we have planted in our greenhouse, making it kind of a fun experience when you actually see one kind of scurry from one bush to another bush. And here we're going to add our pathway entrance. So they're going to enter up at the top of the concrete blocks. And then we're going to have a plaza right here where we'll have food vendors and drink vendors and stuff. Now it's time to get started on our pathway. We're just going to have it kind of snake through the habitat, and both habitats will be kind of divided on each side. So one side will be the monitor and one side will be the cassowary. We're going to add in the PVC strip curtains to act as our doorway, and then we're going to add another one on the other side. Here's a look at how the water monitor habitat will look, and then we're adding in our cassowary habitat. The pathing was a little tricky, so I cut out quite a bit of that. But you can see up at the right there's the stairs, and that's where the staff will enter through. And here come our Asian water monitors right now. These guys have no business looking this good in this game. I took some close-up shots of them, and they look incredible. The detail on them is amazing. So now we're going to get started on the terrain. We're going to keep it very simple, giving them a nice sandy beach and then grass and dirt kind of spread out. And then our planting, we're going to be sticking with scaevola bushes. They're very big and give us that really lush look that we're going for in this habitat. And you'll see that I'm kind of jumping back and forth from the cassowary habitat and the water monitors, just to stay a little more consistent in the look of each. That way they blend together seamlessly. And with a little editing magic, our habitat is now a lush tropical paradise for our water monitors. We're just going to add this big basking area for them, and that will hopefully bring them up so that the guests can see them lounging around and warming up in the sun's rays. And to make sure that they come to this area, we're going to add some enrichment up here. And then we're going to scatter some enrichment around the habitat just to promote more activity and movement in the enclosure. We just have a couple finishing touches, like some rock work along the bank of our pond. And then we'll be moving on to our cassowaries. Our cassowaries needed a little more space, so we're going to extend this wall out. And that will act as just kind of a little more privacy for our cassowaries. I'm going to add in a few trees just towards the front where we have a lot more height to our habitat. And then we're going to add some bamboo just to make the guests feel like they're in the canopy of a jungle, looking down on the creatures below. We're going to add in some rock work around our staff entrance and clean this up a little bit. We're going to try to make it look like it's hidden and a part of the landscape. And of course, we're going to add a door for our staff to get in and out. We're also going to be adding a little outcropping for the pathway, just to get a better view of our water monitors. So we're just going to loop it around. And now we're going to add our custom structural support beams. These will be going underneath the pathway and provide a nice clean support system for the underside of the path. I went ahead and added the standard railings to the pathway. And now that we have the interior all finished, we're going to add our roof back onto the habitat. We're going to add a ramp up to the entrance. And now it's time to add in the guest area where there'll be food, drink, and a restroom. So we're using this area to really cover up the industrial style buildings that we have behind it. Those buildings are all just kind of backstage, maybe office buildings as well. So they're really just ugly and kind of look like a jail, so we're going to make it look a little nicer. And this area, because it backs up to our little penguin habitat, which is very rocky, we're going to carry that theme over and make it seem like it's a continuation of the same imagery as the penguin habitat. Now we're just going to use a rock wall to kind of guide the guests down the pathway. And then use colored concrete to just kind of blend that all in, but still give the building a structure. We're going to line up the bathroom doors and add a sign. We'll place down a few benches just for all the tired people who are walking through our zoo. I think that blends in perfectly with our lighthouse. Here's the greenhouse all complete. You can see I added a roof over the top of that emu habitat. And I think with that, it's time for the final cinematics. I absolutely love the way that this habitat turned out. The division is seamless between the two habitats. Walking down, you can see both animals, and really just the way that the light interacts with all the beams and the structure of our greenhouse just looks really nice. I hope you guys liked this episode. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.